Hi, it's Alyssa from Maintaining Motherhood, where I talk about simplifying to enjoy life more through motherhood, organization, recipes, and education. Today, I want to talk about attitude. I've been realizing it for a while, but this morning I did a self-diagnosis. I diagnosed myself with an extreme case of negativism. I'm having a horrible, very bad, no good attitude, and I need to change it. So I've been embarking on this huge project lately, and this project is something that's kind of been in the works for years. The project is to take all of the pictures that I've accumulated, my whole digital library from basically my entire life, and put it into photo albums. And I'm trying to do it through like digital photo albums. Anyway, so I've been meticulously going through every single year of my life. And mostly right now, my first part of the project is to start with since I've been married, which was in 2007, and then take it up to the time being so that my kids can look through pictures of themselves and kind of see the story of our family. So it's been a really fun project. Now, one of the things that I have realized is that I look back on some years more fondly than others, and I couldn't quite figure out why. The group of time that I most fondly look back on is when we lived in this condo, and we had 4 kids, and there were 6 of us living in just over 1,100 square feet, and it was tiny. I was constantly rearranging, trying to find like secret square footage hidden away in the back of a closet or something, trying to figure out how to fit all of those people in that space and to fit our things as well, but to still have it feel manageable. Anyway, we went through some really hard times while we were living there. We had major sicknesses, we had deaths of very close family members, we had some huge obstacles that we had to overcome as a family. And so I couldn't quite figure out why I would look back on that period of time so fondly when now we're living in like 2,500 square feet. We're about to have 8 kids, but when we moved into this house, it was like a mansion. It was so huge for us, and we just absolutely loved the house, loved having our own yard. But I feel like after like 2016, for whatever reason in my mind, it's kind of like a void of happiness. And that was really weird to me. And I figured out the reason why this past week. It was this huge epiphany. And what I realized is that's about the time that I stopped doing like a family scrapbook online, was in 2016. And before then, even through all of the hard times, every week I would sit down at my computer, and it was kind of like one of those mommy blogs, like it wasn't for the world or anything. It was just for me, for my own personal account and history, to take those pictures and to add captions, add all the cute things that my kids were saying, add the fun adventures that we went on, even just the silly little crafts that we did that was as simple as tearing little pieces of paper and gluing it on another piece of paper. Those things were treasures to me back then. And when I stopped doing that, it's like I kind of lost finding my purpose in life. I just got caught up in the rigors of everyday life. It was when my oldest started kindergarten, and so of course that brought some extra busyness into life. We had a baby that was born with some medical problems. My husband started his master's degree, which included a whole bunch of extra time away from the family. But those trials were no bigger than any of the other trials that we faced before. And so I think the thing that made the biggest difference was just the simple act of sitting down and reframing the activities and the experiences that I was having. So instead of just looking back on this conglomerative chunk of years and thinking, oh my goodness, we've been through so many hard things, instead at the end of each week, I was looking back on those highlights, all of the things that were good enough or memorable enough that I wanted to take a picture. And then I was writing about those things. So when I look back on those years, those are the things I remember. I remember the good times. I remember the silly crafts. I remember the parks that we went to, the splash pads, the museums, the simple walks, kids putting their shoes on the wrong feet or having mismatched socks. Those are the things that I remembered. And I think that is really the reason that I look back on those years fondly. And so I'm embarking on a challenge for myself for September, and I would love if any of you would like to come on this journey with me. So for September, every morning I'm going to write 3 intentions, and those can be 3 things that I will do for the day. So whether it's like to-do list items, whether it's if I woke up cranky like I did this morning, and I need to seek to have a positive attitude. I'm going to look for something specific. If I had kind of a misunderstanding with a child the day before, then maybe my intention for the day will be to reconnect with that child. But something very specific. And today I have 3 to-do items. They're phone calls I need to make that I've been putting off for forever. Things I don't want to do, but things that need to be done. So 3 intentions every day. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step, at the end of every day, I'm going to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. Now, I think this is something that people capitalize on a lot of, just start a gratitude journal and it will change your life. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not like I'm grateful for my food. I'm grateful for my clothes. I'm grateful for my favorite shirt or my socks that don't have holes in them. Like, to think beyond that, I'm going to think of 3 things that I'm specifically grateful for in that day. I'm grateful, like for today, that my little boy said something super cute when I asked him to clean up his books. He just hopped down off the couch and said, oh yeah, actually. I'm like, that is the cutest thing. What little 1-year-old says, actually? It was just a cute little moment. So that's something I could be grateful for. I could be grateful for the fact that my kindergartner, instead of sitting and taking forever to eat her lunch today and for us being tardy to dropping her off to school, she sat down and her goal was that she wanted to finish eating before I did so that we could be on time to school. So choosing specific little things that you're grateful for. So at the end of each day, finding 3 things that you are grateful for specifically from that day. I'm hoping that what this will do is it will help me reframe each day so that when my husband comes home from work each day, he doesn't ask the question, how was your day? And I respond with something really lame like, long. Do any of you do that? Because I do that way more often than I should. Or I go off and rattle off all the things that went wrong. There's so many things that can go wrong during the day, but there's also so many things that go right during the day. I love this principle of reframing, which is where you take an experience and you put it into a different perspective or a different light. You change the focus. So at the end of each day, instead of saying my day was long, at the end of each day, I can look back and I can say, I am so grateful that this person offered to help with the dishes. I'm so grateful that this neighbor asked how I was doing. You know, just these specific things that help me look back on the day with fondness rather than flopping myself in my bed and thinking I was a horrible mom. I didn't do all of the things that I meant to, that I intended to do. I have these projects that are unfinished. I want to look back on every day from this point on with gratitude. So are you with me? Here's the challenge. At the beginning of each day, set 3 intentions, 3 things that you want to do or that you want to accomplish. And then at the end of each day, you're going to write down 3 things that you are specifically grateful for in that day. All right? I'm hoping that together, I would love if you would share back with me either in the comments or you can follow me on Instagram and add to my posts there. But I'm hoping that through this whole experience, I can change my outlook on life, that I can overcome my chronic negativism that is like, it is eating at me and it is hurting the relationships that I have with those closest to me, and it's hurting the way that I perceive my life. and I need to change it, and the only person that can change it is me. So if you are stuck in this cycle of negativism, just know you have the power to change it. And I think that this is a really easy, good first step. So let's do this together.